What is going on, family? Welcome back to the channel. And in this video, through this macro madness, there are some coins that I'm absolutely going to DCA into, and I would like to talk to you about those. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you are doing well. First of all, let's get the elephant out of the room. That is Bitcoin. Where do I see Bitcoin? Look, we're going to keep it simple. Bitcoin has a floor at $60,000 to the upside. You've got a range, $87,000, maybe. Of course, resistance at $74,000, and my macro low for the cycle is absolutely $48,000. However, this is a great time to be paying attention to these markets. Of course, I'm in the region where there's war, and what that's basically done is oil has absolutely rocketed. West Texas, Brent crude, $85 and above, and absolutely insane. So something to watch out for this week would be US session on market open and see how the stock market reacts, because that's going to be quite key. Now, the major date in your calendar is Wednesday. Wednesday is CPI day, and we all know what that brings. That brings volatility. So I'm going to try and tell you what's important and what to block out. Now, of course, we also have initial jobless claims on Thursday. Every Thursday, FOMC is going to be this very, very near future. This week is going to determine. There's going to be few of the Fed chairs talking. And of course, as you know, last week, Trump's already submitted the Kevin Walsh nomination to Congress. That's going to be rubber stamped. And of course, that's going to give the market a plenty of trust moving forward. Having said that, we are in the midst of a macro madness. Now, of course, Iran war update. All you need to know is people have been killed. Strait of Hormuz has limited traffic when it comes to oil. And of course, Trump signaled further escalation over the weekend and said that we will be able to destroy and continue this for long. But many countries in the region have been dragged into this war. Of course, energy prices are inherently inflationary. And of course, that's something you need to watch out for. Okay, so the key driver here is the SPX. That's going to determine where Bitcoin goes. Of course, we saw prices dropping on the weekly, and this is what the picture looks like right now. May pull back to the moving average here. However, it's going to be extremely volatile, and it could drag Bitcoin along with it. Having said that, there are some unbelievable prices. Spot ETFs were actually very, very bullish last week. Overall, the flows were way, way higher than what they've been. So let's give you some altcoins, right? Let's cut to the chase. Number one, Ondo Finance. Now, if you know Ondo and you understand where TradFi is going, it's only going to two places, Canton Network and Ondo Finance. Ondo is the clear leader in these Ethereum-backed blockchains, Ethereum-built layer ones. And it is actually a layer one. The price has been very bearish compared to its normal strength. However, the immediate range is 24 to 30 cents. If you break 22 cents, you will get below a generational buy. But when you zoom out and you see exactly what's going on with the chart, you are at a bear market, nearing towards the bear market bottom here. And most people run out of time. So dollar cost average where you can, but I do believe Ondo is not a short-term play. In my opinion, Ondo is a 2030 and beyond, in my personal opinion, because this is where TradFi, trading, of course, stock market, this is where money is going to enter into the blockchain. Coin number two, you guessed it, is SUI network. Now, SUI's range at the moment, what you need to see is SUI breaking 80 cents to the downside. Of course, the range is up to $1.32. It could go up there and then come back down. There are massive, massive institutional ETFs on the SUI blockchain. And of course, when you see the price here, you can clearly see that it has, an 861-day yellow line support. So it has respected that. Don't be too greedy. Market is bearish, but dollar cost average where you can. In my opinion, below 80 cents, I think the triggers will be pulled heavily. There is one manipulated chart with SUI, and that is the Binance futures chart. That went all the way down to 57 cents, and there is money trapped there. I won't be surprised if the market manipulators go and grab some of that crazy, crazy liquidity. The next one that I'm actually, actively looking into and I hold a nice bag of this and I want to double my bag at these low prices is Bittensor TAO. Now you've got 120 subnets. You've got massive computational power for both AI and DeepIn with these subnets, and it can challenge large language models like Claude or ChatGPT. This stuff is absolutely insane. The problem is Bittensor TAO is misunderstood. And in my opinion, this is the equivalent of buying Bitcoin from an AI perspective. Okay. Grayscale, Barry Silbert, they're all onto this. It has a very high whale concentration and it's a long-term belief for me. Now, of course, if you're waiting for the $123 or $100, good luck. I would do what I'm actually pointing out here, which is to DCA below the structural level, the demand zone that it's come to. And every time it holds that level, it had actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks holding this level. Now, previously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks there, another 4, 5 weeks here, and another 5 weeks here. Sorry, another 3 weeks here. 1, 2, 3 being supported. So this is going to be a key demand level. Now, most people, the markets take off when you least expect them. We are in a bear market, and in my calculation, we are at 170 days into the bear market of this cycle. You do have some time. However, you've got to structure your limit buys. Now, of course, why would I dabble down and buy some more? In the future, this will be one of the key cryptocurrencies that in the AI space that provide not only computational power, where AI models compete, where rewards are given in TAO. TAO is basically the linchpin in the entire ecosystem. Next one, you guessed it, it's a no surprise, no brainer, is Kaspa. Now, Kaspa has Ingra network or EVM, which is an EVM compatible layer 2 that's launched on it. It enables DeFi, dApps, and of course, it is going to be key because the hard fork is coming up. There are more catalysts coming up for Kas every single day. Fundamentally strong, brutal price. You are buying Kaspa on its floor. However, if Kaspa breaks this level here, this golden line that I got on the chart, I do believe Kaspa could maybe perhaps close this candle, which is the October manipulation wick. That's 1 cent. Fanciful. It is already cheap. Dollar cost average, it's below 3 cents. Makes no sense for you to wait for the ultimate bottom, but I do have enough and I could wait for a generational scoop once again. Why is people were asking me on the live stream, why am I bullish on Kaspa? Kaspa is a relatively unknown quantity when it comes to DeFi, TVL, all the things that we expect a large cryptocurrency of its ilk to have. However, the technology, the founder, the fact that it's the only proof of work layer 1 that is at a lightning speed. It's light years ahead of the likes of Litecoin or Bitcoin Cash. Nothing compares to it as a pure proof of work cryptocurrency. So grab yourself some Kaspa. I am buying Kaspa if it breaks a certain level, but don't be like me because I hold a good amount of Kaspa. Next one is Aerodrome Finance. Now, the big development with Aerodrome is actually going after Uniswap. Dromos Labs are launching a unified protocol called Aero. Okay. However, it is going to be a combination, a merging of Velodrome Finance and Aerodrome Finance. For those of you who remember, Velodrome was forked and they came up, of course, with Aerodrome, and now they're going to expand to the native Ethereum mainnet directly to challenge Uniswap. That's going to be quite key. It has a TVL of 500 million, generated $180 million of fees last year. This is a major catalyst to watch, especially with maybe perhaps the support of base and optimism behind them. Next one I would look at is Uniswap. Now, most of you would look at Uniswap. Jupiter is another one, Radium. These DEXs, Bluefin, these DEXs on the larger layer 1s become available in a bear market. Now, Uniswap has 8 layer 2 networks, okay? And it's going to have token burns. Now, the price, it went to $1.85 in the October wick, which is also a historical support level. But watch this space. They are planning to do 100 million of retroactive burns. If that's passed, that's going to be absolutely bullish. Still under $4, 87% down, is likely to move with Ethereum. And in my opinion, it is absolutely something to watch, especially now that the market cap has come down significantly, because I think Ethereum will run very, very hard in the future. The next one that has come back on the agenda is Monad. It's back on the hunt. First cycle launch. Never seen a true bull market, right? It's the first bull market that it's going into. And of course, recently, Aave have obviously deployed, Chainlink Bridge is deployed. And this is going to be quite, important, considering that Category Labs also announced a potential 30 million token buyback. And Monad 9 network upgrade has obviously already shipped. Other things I'm watching out for: Morpho, Maple Finance, Near Protocol, Zebek, Say, Hype, Aventis, Canton, Toshi, Pengu. You may be thinking, what about Pepe? Well, when the time comes, the time comes. I will be watching all of the small cap, perhaps meme coins as well. But this is going to be a fantastic, fantastic time to be in crypto, because rather than looking at the noise, what we're starting to see is assets really, really bottom, driven by these massive macro uncertainty or uncertain events. Of course, another thing that I'll be talking about is how a lot of cryptocurrencies are absolutely fake. They have no use cases. They don't generate fees. They have fake TVLs. And we'll talk about that in another video. So smash a like to the video. A lot of information there. Market continues to be at extreme fear. And of course, as always, I will bring you my honest opinion on what I see happening and developing in the space. This is a time to pay attention to what the teams are doing rather than the noise. All right. There's, where you see buybacks and burns, fees, revenue, use cases, something is there. Okay. Another one that I just don't want to forget, but is Virtuals Protocol. Of course, is coming back down again. Virtuals Protocol is another one for AI agents that you need to watch. Never, ever miss a video here. Smash a like, share the video, and God bless you all. Stay safe. I'll catch you on the next one.